What do you do when you're a 25-year-old who can't stop regretting the past for being a failure now? I applied to go back to school. I still feel like a failure and my mental health isn't great, but at least I have a sense of stability and accountability, and that I'm moving forward slowly. Things will get better, but sometimes it takes some work on your part. It isn't easy, but you got this. ETA, for a comment that I completely forgot I made, this really blew up. I'm truly inspired by all of the stories that have been shared here, and it's like I said to another person, there are a lot of things that can be taken away from you, but education isn't one of them. I believe in all of you, and thank you for sharing your stories. Give it time, and stay on track. I was in the same boat at age 30. Took the time to decide exactly the direction I wanted to go, applied to school, and got through it. You're absolutely tight, it takes a lot of work on your part, and it absolutely is not easy. I'm in my 50s now, and occasionally still feel like a failure, but then I think of where I was and how far I've come, and the feeling doesn't last long. I'm 35 and feeling a lot of duality with stuff like this. I have a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But sometimes also have the courage to remind myself that I have endured what has been done. I'm still learning, and I can only hope that one day it'll all add up, clarity will come to me, and I will be at peace with the life I've lived. My son told me to never do woulda, coulda, shoulda. 2 weeks later he passed away. His point was that he never wanted me to regret. And I get it. His life expectancy was 6 years old. He passed at 18. I have no idea why I'm sharing this. Probably because I'm hurting so much. Doing something is a heck of a lot better than doing nothing, and while it's hard, remember that someday you're going to look back and be able to say I did a thing, which is more than most folks get to say. Realize that many successful people weren't famous until later in life. Stan Lee made his first comic book when he was 39. Harrison Ford was a self-taught carpenter until he started acting in his mid-30s. Hell, even Colonel Sanders had multiple jobs all his life and was a failing salesman for part of it. He only started selling fried chicken in his 60s. The key difference you can make right now is not giving up. Keep trying and doing new things, keep discovering things about yourself. When you find the right thing, it doesn't take long to become successful. Edit. To add to this, it's easy to think of people more successful than you as having a head start in life. But remember, success ties you down to what makes you successful. Success makes you complacent, and honestly, your 20s should be spent discovering things, hustling and learning to adapt. Don't be surprised if you find people who found success early starting to decline or not understand how to maintain their success as time goes on. Life is a long-term game, and where you are at now is hardly a reflection of how you will spend the rest of it. But that's up to whether or not you're willing to keep searching and adventuring through it all. Keep it up. And good luck. This is absolutely a perspective I want to keep in mind. I spent my 20s trying to find that thing, and the search took me to so many different places. I'm very happy I went. Had I been working a successful career the whole time, I would never have discovered as much about myself as I did. Harrison Ford was a self-taught carpenter until he started acting in his mid-30s. This isn't quite true. Harrison Ford started acting in college and moved to Los Angeles to become an actor. It didn't go very well, which is why he picked up carpentry. He eventually got his big break in his late 20s, not mid-30s, with American Graffiti. That's what he gets for going to acting school in Wisconsin. Fun fact, the Colonel was in a gunfight over his first chicken place. If I remember correctly, he put up a billboard for the place and a local gas station owner wasn't pleased, so upon meeting to discuss things, violence broke out, resulting in a gunfight. The Colonel won. Sounds like Los Pollos Hermanos. With KFC making a game console, anything is possible. Maybe producing a gritty drama miniseries is in their future. The rival was defacing advertising Sanders was putting up. The Colonel got word it was happening live, and he went over to talk to the guy with 2 of his managers. The guy defacing the advertising shot one of the KFC managers, who died. Sanders shot the guy back and hit him in the shoulder, and the guy surrendered. And it all paved the way for the KFC gaming console. Walt Disney was initially fired from a newspaper for not being creative enough. Lol, everyone has their own timeline and fails sometimes. Doesn't mean you won't get your break. Then there's Augustus, who at 31 looked upon the tomb of Alexander the Great and thought, I've done pretty great for myself. Better to waste 25 than 30. Hit the restart button. You're on no one else's timetable but your own. I'm 26 and just now figuring out what I wanted to go to college for. 8 years late. This is the perfect time for me, though. I have a lot more life experience than I did 8 years ago, and it will make it so much easier to balance work/school/relationships. It's never too late to start. I went back when I was 29. It's easier than when I was 18. You just treat it like a job. Stay organized, and you will be fine. It's insane to me how much easier it is for me to study and focus on learning now, late 20s, than it was when I was 18 to 21. I still did at the time, but it was erratic and I probably didn't get nearly as much out of classes as I could have. Now I know to dedicate specific times each day to studying, actually stick to that, and use actual learning techniques to help rather than just cram once a month. Like you said, treating it like I do my job helps a ton. I'm jealous. For me it was harder or equally hard at best. But I have ADHD that hasn't exactly gotten better with time either. Well, not the ability to focus and learn anyway. Went back at 27. School was so much easier the second time. My first time through I was a middling student. Almost flunked out, graduated with a 2.6 GPA. Second time I sailed through, found it was easy to do the homework and finished with a 3.98, FA in ethics and politics. Now I'm 41, in a job I really enjoy and making a really decent living. This gave me a lot of hope. I really appreciate you sharing. I'm turning 24 this month and have had the suffocated/running out of time feeling creeping a couple times already, and I'm still only technically 23 lol. But I've caught myself telling other who asked that I'm 24 unintentionally adding a year to my age, and I think that has something to do with maybe feeling rushed. Have been finding out a lot by just sitting back, deep breaths, and really taking my time to understand when and where I want to strike career-wise. I'm about to turn 25 and just realized I may have gone to college for the completely wrong thing and want to start over. It's so hard to go from knowing exactly what you want as a kid to seeing the real world and realizing you don't have a clue. I'm struggling to make a choice because only I can decide, and I have to live with myself after. I also happen to be a major cheaty type character, if you've seen The Good Place lol. 25 is still super young. I did the same thing, majored in something I loved and then realized I didn't like the job options. Made a career switch to something totally different at 25. I'm 27 now and my income is 50K higher than it was, and I'm excited to work every day. My mom made a similar switch at age 45 and she's way happier. Quality of life is everything, and you only have one shot at making your life a good one. Don't waste your time on something you're not sure if you like. No such thing as late. I hated high school. I hated everything about it, and came out knowing more from what I spent my evenings Googling than I did in any classroom memorizing the standardized tests they spend 3 years straight prepping you for. So when I graduated and my family made me go to college under the threat of otherwise you'll spend your life digging ditches, I went in with no direction and with nothing but resentment. Needless to say, I tanked hard. That led to fights with family, and a bunch of other things that are water under the bridge, but in the end, I simply wasn't ready for it. You go at your pace. When you are ready to. There is no late. There's only too early. 100% that. People will tell you it's too late to start this and start that. But it's your choice and you alone can make it or break it. Make sure that you assign your priorities first, then take action. I did it the other way round and boy did I waste 2 years. People will tell you it's too late to start this and start that. It's rarely ever too late. Plus 25 is quite young. Original Post has plenty of opportunities to make big changes. It's not easy getting started, but it can be done. Is 30 still young enough? Depends on what. To be an Olympic ice skater, 30 is too old. To be a novelist, 30 is not too old. If it's something where you can use skills you've built up doing something else, then go for it. I started a career writing video games 10 years ago. I'm 57, and I've shipped 3 games plus DLC as a narrative director. On the other hand, I've been writing all my life. If you're going to kick yourself for not trying to do something, then do it. How did you manage to get into that, if you don't mind my asking? Are you writing complete games from start to finish, full characters and landscapes, or coming up with broader outlines and working with a team on details? Are we talking console, PC, apps? Games programmer here, it depends on how the team works. With my new job, they're early on in development, still in pre-production. What blew me away when I started was how well documented the story was. All of the story beats are written out, with references to the game's mechanics. It's at this point the player unlocks the potato. They can then use this to access the next kitchen area. The chef notices the happy expression on the player character's face, and remarks that they're glad you can find pleasure in such simple things as potatoes, that kind of thing. The story outline document is also supported with plentiful concept art, and as a programmer it's been massively helpful to have documentation to reference when discussing new features I'm developing, as the members of the team are much more likely to be on the same page. There's only one level's worth of the dialogue written at this point in development, and that's as a test to get a feel for how the different characters will speak. The game we're working on at Bonsai Collective is story-heavy, so having the story and relevant mechanics mapped out early has been invaluable. After once hearing someone ask if 20 was too late to turn their life around, I laughed. Then when I was asking myself the same at 30, I realized those who were 40 were laughing at me. 40s and not laughing at you because now I am looking for new direction career-wise and worrying it is too late. Yep. I wasted years with my ex. When I was finally free of her I was hurtling towards 40. Picked myself up, started taking care of myself and started over. I'm now happier than ever and those wasted years taught me a lot. It's never too late. Probably. I'm 34 and 30 feels like a lifetime ago. You'll be fine. Just set your mind to it and before you know it you'll be living it. After the longest time of going nowhere and never really trying, mental health problems yay, I chose to turn things around. I started my degree at 32, and my life experience and maturity have ensured that I am in a far better headspace to focus on studying and achieve highly. Just about to start the final semester of my final year following the Christmas break, and I'm excited to see what new and exciting opportunities I will have in 5 to 6 months. I'm in the UK, so beginning a degree at any age is covered by government loans. It's not too difficult to get into it all. Your mileage may vary in other countries, however. I started my second career training at 31. I went back to school again for more training at 34. There was a 72-year-old, retired pilot that got his welding certifications with us. That's right. No need to regret the past. Decide on what you are going to be in the near future and work towards it, really do the things required to get closer to it. Life will be better and the good things will come along. Insert planned trees 100 years ago, planned trees now, quote here. Such quarter-life crisis. The best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The second best time is today. Smiley face, edit, laughing out loud thanks. I was just inserting the quote the person above referenced in case people hadn't seen it. Perfect. Except the second best time would have been 99 years ago or 99 years and 364 days ago. So now is the 36,501st best time to plant a tree. Listen here, you little crap. Lost it at this one. My nose does not thank you for that, but I do. Time is measured by days only in our minds, time in reality is timeless. So you're saying the best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time? Not in Texas. You will be hot most of the time and freeze when the wind starts up. One with a collar, turtleneck, that's the kind cause when you're wearing that one. Special. Sweater. I'm 32 and I'm finally starting to look into a more career-oriented option rather than retail management. I also only got my driver's license this year and am figuring out my life. I'm proud of me, disappointed it took me this long, but ultimately I still have a lot of time to figure the rest out and go from there. It's really never too late to restart, or to just figure out something new. Never too late. I got my bachelor's at 39. Never too late. I'm studying to get mine at 42. Will be finished at 46. Think of it this way. I'm 25, if I go to college/trade school/etc. Now I'll be 28 to 30 by the time I'm done. Well, if you don't go to school, you'll still be 28 to 30 eventually, except still no school. And what's more, At 30 you'll still be caught in the same mental game, only now it's if I'll go to college now, I'll be 35 when I'm done. Waiting will only make the decision harder. Imagine someone telling you that you're too young to get sober. Seriously, smiley face. 100% that. People will tell you it's too late to start this and start that. Who is going to tell a 25-year-old he's too old to do something? A 16-year-old? Right? A 25-year-old is still a kid. The thing that helped me decide to get things going, the time will pass anyway. So go take another course, start another degree, restart your career. The time will pass anyway, what you did with it is on you. Don't let perfect be the enemy of better. Just because you haven't yet reached your goals doesn't mean it won't happen, and that it's too late to happen. The time up until now was used to grow and learn some life lessons. Think of it as if you wouldn't be able to achieve all the things you will achieve later, without making a few mistakes. Anything worth achieving takes time, and failing is a natural process for everything in life. 34 years old. Almost done with second year of school. Going for team leader in logistics. The first step is the hardest, but the ones after that get easier and easier. These quotes stuck with me: make your own life or your life will be made for you, and don't expect change to ring your doorbell, go get it. 35 and applying to 4-year colleges after wrapping up my AA. It's hard not to be embarrassed about my lack of forward motion sometimes. But I'm going to repeat that quote to myself and keep on plugging. Posts and comments like yours really help me when I'm feeling down. Thank you. Absolutely this. I am 31, and I just got my crap together. And I still can work on things. Don't compare yourself to others, you're on your own timetable. Agreed. 25 is so young. They could do anything. Go to college and be done at 29, then have a long successful career. They could be making lots of money in a few years if they got an electrician's apprenticeship now. So many possibilities. They have their whole lives left. This. It's never too late to try something new. This. With the right attitude and mindset you can get more done, become more successful, from 25 to 30. F the past. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.